Hi everyone, it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel ahead of my uh, Mass music selections from this morning's 11:30 Mass. Um, and I want to dedicate this music particularly to my good friend, Mr. Christopher Ricci, who I have the great pleasure and honor to sing with and make music, spiritual music with, on a regular basis at St. Bonaventure Parish in Plymouth. And I'm dedicating this to you, Chris, in particular. Chris is the music director for the rest of the world who's watching this at my parish. He's a very fine musician, organist, pianist, but he's also a very good friend of mine. And I have him to thank for getting me involved with the parish musically, and for pushing me forward on my vocal journey. And I wanted to do this today because this has been a kind of a rough weekend, up and down. Like many of us, I suffer from some depression and some anxiety, and I take some medications for that. But even with it, sometimes things just hit me, and I think the last couple of weeks things have kind of all hit me at the same time. So fast forward, yesterday I had to solo at a wedding that I was booked on several months ago. And one of the pieces I needed to sing was an Ave Maria, and a Schubert's version in this case. And I've done it before, and I've done it okay, but it's not, vocally for me, it's not a piece it's always been a challenge to sing various versions of the Ave Maria. It's, in my mind, it calls for a vocal quality and style that I don't have. In many respects, I wish I did. I wish I had more of an operatic type voice, and I think that type of voice quality does it justice, although there are other types of singers who've done it and done it quite beautifully, and they're not have an operatic voice. But for me, it's always sort of my nemesis piece, one of my pieces, because I feel very inadequate singing it, and that's part of my own anxiety, my own angst when it comes to my vocal abilities. 56 years old, and I still struggle with my own confidence singing. And so yesterday I had to do this version of the Ave Maria, and it didn't go well from my perspective. I just felt like it didn't come out the way I had hoped it would, and I recorded it, as I've been recording my own music, and I played it later. And I knew it wasn't what it should have been, and I felt badly because this was for a wedding. This was for a couple that had paid for my services 3 or 4 months ago, and I always want to do a good job. I always want to perform to the best of my ability, and I think it's so important that I bring a spirituality to these occasions. And I felt like I fell flat on my face. I felt like I was struggling through it. Vocally, I wasn't happy. And I listened to it later in the day, and I was convinced it was like god-awful. So that didn't help my general malaise and angst going into today. But today, between having one of those moments with my wife before I went to church, and I was pretty grumpy, pretty disgruntled, pretty angry. And I actually said to her before I left, I said, I don't even want to go to church. So Chris, you're hearing this. I didn't want to go. I was like, I am in no mood to sing. I didn't want to get into anything with you, my friend. And I knew my sense of, oh my God, I have to really be careful, because when I get like this, I can be really not a nice person, and the last thing I wanted to do was hurt you. But I ended up, somehow I just stopped for a minute before I left the church, and I don't know, I just got very sad, but I also got very thoughtful, and my best friend Allison, my wife, was there to help me. So going into church, I was better than I thought I would have been. But as you know, Chris, when I got there, and you, of course, you wanted to try to make me feel better about yesterday's performance, and I was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. But we got through it. I managed to at least be okay with you, I hope. And we talked about other things. But I just said a prayer while I was sitting there waiting to sing, and I said, I just want to sing. I want to sing. I want to make a difference for people. I want to forget the Ave Maria and all my hang-ups. I just want to sing today because I want to bring something to these people and myself. I'll be honest. I wanted to do something that I felt good about. And, I sang my parts, and I think when we were sitting through Father Ken's homily, and he made the comment about throwing away our cell phones, and it was so funny because you gestured like, there's no way you're taking my phone, and that kind of made us both laugh. And then I leaned up and I said, well, you have to give up your watches, and I know I have to give up my costumes, and we both had I had an amazing laugh to myself, and I think you did too, and that just seemed to help so much. Thank you, Father Ken. So for the rest of the Mass, I have to say, I was listening to my recordings, and I thought, I did okay. I did pretty good, and I have you to thank for that. So I dedicate all this music to you and our friendship, and I hope those who are watching enjoy it. I love you, Chris.